Hey, good morning, everybody. Once again, this is your boy Ron Thomas Jr. from the Real News Behind the News, and we have been blessed today with a chance to interview one of the candidates for the upcoming Caddo Parish District Attorney's race. Actually, we got Dhu Thompson sitting in. How you doing, Mr. Thompson?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
All right, hey, we thank you for taking us serious. And
I'm actually joined by one of my former candidates and colleague and good friend, Casey Simpson.
Mr. Casey Simpson. Mr. Thompson, we know you're a very busy man, and again, we thank you for at least showing up here. It was supposed to be a debate, but the other candidate didn't show. But we thank you and respect you for taking the time to come up and show up and answer some tough questions. I posted a few videos, but you took the time to give me a few seconds. I just want to ask you 3 questions, and you know what I'm saying, we feel in the black community that the next district attorney will have to face. And the first question will be your view on the death penalty. And also, I'm gonna just go ahead and give you all 3 questions, and you can just, go rapid fire on it. But we're gonna ask, what is your view on the death penalty? Also, how do you view the situation on Glen Ford, and what do you think could be done to, right some of the wrong that was done and that maybe compensate his family? And last but not least, you addressed this earlier, but take a few seconds to mention how you would address the mass incarceration rate here in Caddo Parish, which has us at probably one of the highest per capita in the nation.
Okay, well, let me talk first on your question about my view on the death penalty. People ask me about my view, and I tell everybody on the campaign trail that if a case falls in the category of it's the worst of the worst, and we have the evidence to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, it's been thoroughly investigated, and it is an appropriate case because the DA's office has that by law to seek justice for family, then yes, we will put it before a charge conference and we'll make an educated decision on whether or not we're going to seek that punishment. It's not something that we take lightly. In some of the cases that I've done in recent memory, or a 12-year-old boy who was strangled and killed and thrown into the woods like a piece of trash, leaving his mother and community devastated and torn. I've also done cases where a girl's been abducted from the David Motel. She was taken into the woods where she was raped, and then thrown into a trunk and burned alive.
We got a lit noise in the field. Sure. Sorry about that, Mr. Thompson. Go ahead.
So those are the type of cases that I've done where our office has sought the death penalty. So it's not something I take lightly. It's not something that we take joy in doing, but it's something by law that we are mandated to prosecute where appropriate. And I will use sound discretion and analysis in making that decision.
Okay. Next, a lot of people aware of some of the, especially the recent 60-minute interview that had to deal with a wrongful incarceration of Glen Ford. Some people in the community are, asking about that. I mean, could you just take a second to address that issue, and how would you be transparent with the community to make sure that, justice in that case and some others that may be like that is done, and that something like that will never again happen in Caddo Parish?
Sure, and I want to be clear first and foremost, because a lot of people on the campaign trail tried to put that case on me, and I want everybody to be clear that I was in the 2nd grade when the Glen Ford case happened. And so the culture of arrogance that Marty Stroud talked about on 60 Minutes, that had to do with Paul Carmouche's regime, which I believe James Stewart may have been a part of back in the day, but I was in the 2nd grade, so I didn't have anything to do with the Glen Ford case. But what I would like to put out there for those type of cases, and with my administration, is that with the sophistication that we look at cases at today, the way we review them, we put thoroughness in the investigation to make sure that we've got the case proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Those measures in place, along with our transparency and how we make our decisions, will prevent a situation like the Glen Ford case. Again, I can't do something, now about something that happened back in, another DA's administration when I was in the 2nd grade, but I can be part of the solution now.
Okay, and last but not least, something that is a very serious concern is the issue of mass incarceration, especially here in Caddo. Lately, we have gotten the title of the death penalty capital of the United States. We also have one of the highest incarceration rates per capita in the world, in the state of Louisiana, and in the country, in Caddo Parish. How would you address that issue?
I think education and economic disparity play a lot into our crime rate. I see a lot of individuals in the criminal justice system who are ninth grade dropouts, and I didn't even know you could drop out in the ninth grade. So when an individual does that, the school system has failed them and has put them in an idle situation where criminal activity may occur. And then with the lack of economic opportunities at times, that puts individuals in a desperate situation. I intend to attack that twofold. One, I want to implement a diversion program that assists with first-time offenders, and not only put them in a program that's meaningless, but to put them in a program that has jobs and faith-based initiatives available to get the individuals out of criminal activity and back to being a productive member of society. I believe that will reduce our recidivism rate, it will reduce our incarceration rate, and it'll make Caddo Parish a better place for jobs and other factors to come in and look at settling here and making this place rise as a parish in whole.
Hey, Mr. Thompson, I really thank you for coming out to the Formosa Culture Arts Center and answering some of these tough questions. And again, I wish your opponent was here so we could ask the same questions of him. But again, that shows us that you are really concerned and you really want to get the message out to the people that you represent change.
I really do. Look, whether you support me or not, I want everybody to at least say that they know me and they know that I'm honest, I have integrity, and I'm transparent, but most importantly, I'm accessible. If I'm fortunate enough to win, I will be back here that following Tuesday ready with my sleeves rolled up to go to work.
Which reminds me of why I'm supporting Mr. Thompson is because of that one word, accessibility. Saturday night of the primary election, Mr. Thompson called me and declared his professional respect for me. And then Monday morning, the following, he called and said, can we talk about some of the issues you think are important about the DA's office? Absolutely. I haven't heard from Mr. Stewart. He's accessible. In fact, he's more than that. He's taken the affirmative action to reach out to me and others when the opponent hasn't done that. Who can I talk to after he's elected? Mr. Thompson, because I can talk to him before he's elected. I haven't talked to Mr. Stewart, so I don't think I can talk to him after he's elected. That's why I'm supporting Mr. Thompson.
Well, me, myself, being somewhat of a journalist, I can't take an official stance, but I do admit that you made yourself accessible to a ghetto reporter. And you just literally being a ghetto reporter, you sat down and took the time to address some serious questions that we had. So that does go a long way to show accessibility. Well, hey, this your boy Rob Thomas Jr. and hopefully we can get the same kind of interview with Judge Stewart before the election comes. But until then, y'all be blessed.